In this video, we will explain how to send a form for collecting subscriber data. To create a form, we need to go to the Bot Manager and select the Web Form Builder option. Before creating the form, we must perform a specific action. In the whitelisted domain section, click on the Change Setting button. Then, click on New Domain in the top right corner. Please enter the complete domain URL of the closing pilot Chatbot system into this field. We perform this action to ensure that users can access the form without any issues when they click on it. After adding the domain link, we can go to the Web Form Builder and click on Settings. Then, click on New Form in the top right corner to start creating the form. Before setting up the form, we can minimize the menu by clicking on the 3 horizontal lines in the top left corner. This will create more space on the right side. Here, we can drag and drop the desired form elements. In the Form Name section, enter a name for the form, which is for your reference only. The title on the right side will appear at the top of the form and will be visible to users. For the reply template below, we don't need to make any settings for now, but we can come back to it later. Now, we can start creating the form. First, drag the header element that allows us to set the title. Click on the pencil icon and enter the title of the form in the label section. After entering the title, click Close. Below that, we need to set up a space where users can input their WhatsApp numbers. Here, we can select the text field element and click on the pencil icon. Check the required box to make it mandatory for users to input their numbers before submitting the form. Since it is for a WhatsApp number, select Tell in the Type section. Then, click Close to finish setting up. After setting up, we want our users to submit the form by clicking a button. So, we need to drag the button element and click on the pencil icon. Enter the name for the button element in the label section and choose the desired color below. Then, click Close. Now, click Save to save the progress and click OK. All the forms we create will appear in this section. Besides collecting WhatsApp numbers, we can also collect other information such as names, or ask questions for customers to choose options. However, it's better to keep the form concise and collect only the essential information. If the setup is too complex, users might be reluctant to fill it out and may not submit it directly. So, for this example, I'm creating a short form to collect WhatsApp information. To preview the form, click on the Action button and then select View Form. It will take us to another page where the form is already created. However, we can't directly copy and send the form's link, because we must include it in our Reply Flows button. By clicking on the Auto Reply button in Messenger, we can handle the form submission. Now, let's create the reply flow and place our form in the Reply Flows button. Go back to the Bot Manager and select Bot Flow Builder. Here, create a new reply flow by clicking on Create New Flow in the top right corner. I won't provide detailed explanations of the Bot Flow Builder in this video. If you haven't watched our previous tutorial on the Bot Flow Builder, you can check it out for a detailed explanation in the previous video. In the reply flow, I have already set up the first post back with a simple text and button. We don't include many complex elements like photos, audio, or videos in the first group of post backs, because it's usually connected to our post. If there are more than 2 reply elements in the first post back that directly link with the post, automatic replies won't work. So, the first group of post backs only needs a text and a button element. Clicking the button element will connect to the second group of post backs, where we can place our WhatsApp form. In the second group of post backs, I set up a text and a button. Click the button element and select Web View as the button type. Remember, we don't use a web URL, but select Web View. Web View is a specific format that allows a pop-up form to appear when clicked in Messenger. You'll see options like Web View Full, Web View Compact, and Web View Tall. Web View Full is the size of the entire screen, and that's the one I will choose. For the button text, we could enter text like click to submit or submit form. In the WebView URL, go back to the Web Form Builder, click Action, and then View Form. Copy the URL from the top and paste it in the WebView URL field. Finally, click Done. Before the Form button, I added a text element. You can enter some text in this step to inform users why we're collecting their information and provide a reason. In this example, we collect participants' information for a lucky draw, and if they win, we'll notify them via WhatsApp or let them know we're registering them for the lucky draw. Double-click the Start Bot flow at the beginning of the flow to give it a name and click OK. Save the progress, and if you see the green success text in the bottom right corner, it means the setup is complete. Now, let's test the flow. Click and drag the trigger element to an empty space and connect it. Then enter a keyword for testing purposes. Later, we'll delete it. In this example, I enter test and click OK. Now, go to my Facebook page and enter the keyword test. The first reply combination will appear with a text and a button below it. Next, if I click the button, it will display the next text and button. If I click the button, the form we set up earlier will appear. Now, if I enter the WhatsApp number and click on the Submit button, there is no auto reply sent to my messenger, as I have not set the reply message after form submission. Now we can go back to the Chatbot backend, specifically the web form builder, which is the form we just set up. There, you will see the number of form submissions changing from 0 to 1. Now, we need to set up the replies when our users input their information and click Submit. To create a form, we need to set up 2 separate flows. So, if we place the connection of our form here, it will be the last element in the first flow. Now, we need to click Exit and then click Create New Flow here to set up the reply flow after submitting the form. Then, double-click here to give this flow a name. Previously, I named it Campaign Form Collection Part 1, but now I'll change it to Part 2 for reference. Similarly, I'll choose Text with Button and make a connection here. After double-clicking, I can enter the text here. I've already set up the text, so I can click Save to save it. Next, the action we need to take is to connect this reply with the form we just set up. This Part 2 flow is the reply flow that will appear in the next step after submitting the form. Now, I need to click Web Form Builder to find the form I just set up. Click Action and then click Edit Form. We haven't made any settings in the reply template yet. Now, I need to select which reply flow will appear after my customers fill out the form, which is the Part 2 I set up earlier. After selecting it, I click Save. This way, the reply flow I created will only appear after someone submits the form. Now, we enter the keyword we set for the trigger for testing purposes. Now, I click to submit the form and enter my number. Okay. You will see that this reply flow appears. It automatically appears after we click Submit, which is the reply from Part 2. Now, let's test it with a phone device. Here, let me click to submit the form. Enter my WhatsApp number and click Submit. After submitting, our automated reply appears. Now, let's summarize how to create a form. First, we need to go to our bot manager and create a flow in our bot flow builder. In the first group of our automated reply flow, we first create a text and a button. Then, in the button of this first group's reply flow, we select New Postback. After clicking, it jumps to the second group's postback. In the second postback, we can place the link of the form in the WebView full button type. The WebView URL is the link we obtain when creating the form. After creating the form, we can click Action and then click View Form to copy the link of the form. Paste it in the WebView URL here. After that, the first reply flow of Part 1 is done. There is one important note here. When setting up the reply flow for the form, the first reply must consist of a text element and a button element. When we click the button element, it jumps to the next postback. Then, we can place the link of our form in the button of the second postback. Please do not paste the form link directly into the Start Bot Flow postback. We will only include a simple text and button in the Start Bot Flow postback. After setting up the reply flow, we need to create a second flow. This flow is Part 2 of the entire reply flow, where we set up the content that will be replied after the form is submitted. After setting it up, We can go back to the web form builder and click Action and then Edit Form. Inside the reply template, we select the reply flow we just created for Part 2. This way, after our users submit the form, they will receive the reply template, which contains the content we set up in Part 2. When users start submitting the form, we can go to the web form builder and click Action and then Report to see the data our users submitted. I can select individual subscribers and click Action to see the data they submitted. If I want to download this data, I can click Action and then Export Form Data. This way, I can download an Excel file containing the data our users submitted. That's how you can set up a form.